Hey guys, what up? Ah, damn, this is a rickety ass chair. I just bought this chair and it's like so loud. Hey guys, what's up? That was your one and only Punta Rebels. They don't exist anymore, but I'm guessing that I should start to talk a little bit more about my cultural background and how that influences being a coach. A lot of people like to use the term medium when they talk about like spiritual stuff, but I don't necessarily like that term. But I'm not here to talk about that today. I'm here to talk to you about the series, this guilt. Yeah, this beer that I started drinking. They're not paying me for advertisement, but I love German beer and it's so cold. That's why I'm in this damn bathrobe. I know y'all have been seeing me all over social media in this bathrobe, but it's my husband's and it's super warm. And you know, it's what keeps me comforted in these cold times. I just got this beer from outside our balcony because that's how cold it is. And it's Thursday. I have one class tomorrow, and then I'm done for the week. So I'm excited about that. So, anyways, tomorrow's 19th, gal. I gotta make myself some I gotta make myself some hurut. I was just on Facebook talking to some people about marriage and relationships and single parenting. That's quite a mouthful. I probably should have narrowed it down a little bit, but I was freestyling, so I'm only on here. Usually lately my videos have been quite long on YouTube and on everything. I think I just have decided that, okay, I'm going to not like keep it 15 minutes or keep it 10 minutes or whatever. I'll just let it play out because it's like, it's better than watching a movie, baby. But, so we had the guilt. I keep saying guilt, y'all. Well, I keep saying guilt. We had the gaslighting series. And the gaslighting series got some press. Shout out to those who liked it and who were saying that this has helped me to understand a lot of things about abuse and stuff. I had made some notes on my marriage series and single parenting, how it affects children. Go check that out. It's on Facebook Live, or I shared it on Facebook when I was live. I made a live video and then I shared it on Facebook on my page. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. Today, I want to talk about the conclusion of this gaslighting series because people were like, so what happened? Your husband kicked his ass? Like, what happened? Did you guys, went your separate ways peacefully? And I know I was supposed to post that on Patreon. And I've told this story so many times to friends and family. And I'm just like, when I started telling the story, again, for my chronological, the sequences, and I started thinking to myself, wow, honesty is also very dangerous. It's the best policy, but it's also pretty dangerous. And I should probably talk to my husband about this to see if it's even worth putting out there. But I think that he cannot, we've cleared on this, like, even before we even got married. Like, this issue got handled, like, while we were dating. And my husband is not the type of person to get too jealous about a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the type of guy to be like, what's this and what's that? Like, he's pretty confident. And for me, I've never had any serious, I've had situations where, okay, like, I've had to kind of reassure him that, things are, there's nothing for you to be worried about. But that was pretty early on. Like, from the minute we were engaged, it was just like, this is my woman and that's it. And I don't have to, I ain't got to work at nothing. So me talking about these things are, for me, not an issue. For him, he doesn't like me posting pictures of us, though. That's something that's like, yo, like, I don't like it when people that I'm friends with, that you are friends with on Facebook, see these pictures, or any media, see these pictures, and they're like, then they try to make you jealous and say something, Oh, I got money. That's what's up. So anyways, what happened to homie? What happened to so and so after all the gaslighting? You finally realized that this is what it was. And well, I unpacked and I made some notes, and I was gonna share them with you guys. And as I was unpacking and see these clips, help me. As I was unpacking and I was talking to myself about this, like, I started to say, and I want y'all to, like, be cynical in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell yourself, what's the worst case scenario that this person could be thinking from their perspective about how they experienced you and how things went down, right? I might have two tonight. And the worst case scenario for me was like, this was just, this was an opportunity, for him. This was an opportunity because I was like the bottom girl, the person who was always there when he was down or lonely, or somebody that he needed to just stroke his ego or anything else. And so I was just supposed to continue being that person. He wasn't really studying me, like, he wasn't really like into me like that. The whole effort of control that he implemented in our relationship, and I'm going to share with you guys on Patreon how that was more his style of being than it was anything to do with me. And I think when we get in our feelings and we tend to feel like our ego is telling us that this is happening to us because we're so vulnerable, or this person hates us, it's almost like an alter ego where it's just like, your ego can tell you you're so great and so awesome, or it can tell you you're so horrible and terrible and people are out to get you. That is also having a really big ego. And so because my ego is something that I have to check, having lack of self-awareness at that time made me an easy target for that kind of abuse and behavior. So, I was unpacking like some of the things, like, it was just a game, and it was the game that he played with all of his women, and so it was very convenient and very easy for him to play that game because he set it up in a way where the girls were not going to ever be friends with each other. It was always a tyrannical dynamic where there's an enemy out there. I'm not the enemy, right? I'm just the innocent bystander, and this bitch is crazy and just wants to obsess over me and follow me. But not really, and I'm going to tell you all the details. Not tonight. Gotcha, bitch. And so it was like a situation where, he would be saying something to me about her, or vice versa. Like, she came on to me, or she's so flirty, or there was one woman who was married, by the way, who had allegedly invited him up to her bedroom, and she had like all this, like a whole library of porn that she wanted him and her to watch together. And so he was just like, yeah, I need you to spend the night because this is what went down, you know? And I'm just like, well, why don't you move out? Like, you're not in dire straits, you know? Yeah, because I work with her husband, and it's, you know, it's really important that I'm here when he's gone. So let me tell you something. Let me get this straight. You're with her, right? And you're alone together, and she's already made a pass at you, and you won't move out. All right, okay, cool. Let's see how this goes. So what I did in that particular situation, I confronted her. This was back in the day, like when I was still naive to the level of game that was being played. I was like, yo, like, you know that this is my significant other, and you made a pass at him. Like, what is that about, you know? And you're married and you got kids. Like, what's your problem? And she looked at me like what, you know? Like, what do you mean? And she, because she's a very friendly person who's always, she's almost like a, what do you call, what's that girl who was flirting with the President Kennedy? Marilyn Monroe. She's like a blonde. Like, she's just like, although Marilyn Monroe is very intelligent personally, she gives this aura off like kind of like a ditz, you know? And she's just like, well, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? Like, look at how you parade around, you know? You're dressed very provocatively. Because I had been fed that from him, that, you know, she's the problem. And even though, as a woman, I used to pride myself, even in this time, for like, the man has to play some role in this. You know what I'm saying? I still confronted her because I wanted everything out in the open. I want openness, but there is no openness with gaslighters. Like, everything has to be intricate and, you know, intricate and like indirect and sleazy, and just like everything has to be such a complication. So you can never get any directness with them. And part of the problem is like, well, why didn't you just confront him? Well, yeah, he was the next person I confronted. I was just like, yo, I confronted so and so, and I told her what happened, and he was like, he started laughing, you know, like, but not a laugh like, oh, that's hilarious, which could have been also another type of abuse, because then it's like you're making small of an issue that you obviously are not okay with. But it was like a laugh, like, you know, like I'm laughing, but I really want to scream. And I think now back that it was probably because I had said that in front of his friends, so he couldn't yell, like he couldn't actually go off on me. But he did the following day, and that was one of the makeups phases. So when I look back on the situation, she and I hadn't talked after that, like for a while. She was really, really mad at me, which I thought was strange, because if she hadn't done anything, or if there wasn't anything like really going on, you know, she would have just come in my eyes, said to me, yo, like, I'm really sorry if you feel disrespected, like nothing happened. Let's just continue being friends. That woman hated me from then on. Every time she saw me, she was like, you know, I think I may have tried to apologize to her, but that didn't go well. But like, I'm already 13 minutes in this video and I haven't gotten to the real deal. Fast forward to many other situations like that. As I started to unpack how this unfolded, like how was I able to get into such a manipulated situation, I started to think like, you know, like, if this person cares so much to put so much effort, like, why can't they just come clean and be like, I love you, I want to be with you? Because that's not the case, sis. Like, he does what he does to make himself look good. And that's really about it, you know? And he wanted to create a situation where I would forever be in a situation of control under his thumb. Not because, you know, like, this is how abuse works. And I think that women confuse this kind of behavior with some kind of sick version of love. That, oh my God, like, he's so in love, like, he's obsessed with me and doing all of these unhealthy, toxic things to me. No, sis, he's just crazy, you know? He's just, I'm just seeing a little bit loca and local, and he's somebody that you just want to like get away from as quickly as possible, because as soon as you decide that you are out of the bounds of chains that he can have on you, then he's just gonna go look for somebody else. Like, he is not studying you like that, you know? And so that's what basically happened. I walked away one morning. I walked away one morning shortly after my grandfather had passed away. And I was just like, yo, I'll call you. You know, no, he told me I'll call you. So I was just like, all right, so we haven't really solidified that this is a relationship again. And then I found out somewhere that he had another girl, that this girl was his baby's mama, you know. And I just texted him, and I was just like, man, when you see me cross the street, you know what I'm saying? When you hear my name, don't say nothing. When, you know, just act like you don't even know me. And he had done that for a while. He actually followed up that rule, you know. He was very obedient and did not, because he was hurt. He did not understand or could not fathom that I would have been the one to end it after all those years of being like under the thumb. And when my husband started coming around at the time we were dating, he just like, you know, like lost it. Like, his ego took a beating. And I don't want anybody to think like jealousy equals love. You know, like, don't confuse that. If a person is jealous, it can also just be their ego, you know. But in all the time that I invested in talking about this relationship and trying to figure out like how I can make it better, or how I could figure out why this was happening to me, he wasn't stunning me, you know. Like, I was not top priority in his life. I was just a sore point because it had not gone the way he had expected. And it hadn't gone the way he had expected because he never thought that I would have gotten the help and have taken and took accountability and responsibility for the kind of things that I was claiming I was a victim of. And when I did that, it was a huge liberating experience for me. I told myself, he does not care about me. He does not care about me the way I want anyone to care about me. And I wish him well. That came much later. I wish him well, but now I know that the nature of our relationship. Okay, let me start that again. I wish him well, but now I know that the nature of our relationship does not allow me to maintain or develop or cultivate a friendship with him, because he's an abuser, and he is an abuser that does not want to admit or accept that he is an abuser. And if you can say that, you can replay this part of the video so that you can tell yourself that enough times that you can get, if you're in the crisis situation right now, guys, and you find that you're not able to actually, you know, see past or get the strength, tell yourself that over and over and over. If you have finally, you know, stop sharing a space with that person, or you're no longer in the same social circles or state or whatever, and you feel yourself feeling weak, these are some words that can help you to regain your strength. This person is an abuser, and they are not willing to get the help and strength. They're not willing to acknowledge or accept that this is what they've done, and they don't care about you the way that you would like for someone to care about you. The next part that I really, really want to emphasize, that might be a sore point for many people, is accountability. You know, if you were just getting into a relationship and you realize that these red flags are, and you're kind of debating, or maybe it's the first time that you've had this kind of confrontation with someone in this situation, know that if you've already made a decision to leave, but you're not sure if it's the right thing to do, and you might want to consider staying, note that when and if you move on, this is going to haunt you in a bad way, because men will look at you like, I was embarrassed, like some chicks might be like, yeah, he's obsessed with me, he's following me around. But any man who is like about trying to have a life, like my husband was gonna kick his ass, because that's the way he gets down. But truth be told, this shows that you make bad decisions. Like, I wasn't in a hurry to tell my husband all that I had gone through with this person or these people, because it is a bad track record that you pick poorly. That's your fault. If you pick poorly, then you're like a fucking project to a man. And nobody wants to have a project if they want to build a life, if they want a wife, if they want a mother to their children. They don't want to be having to stop what they do to take care of you. You're falling apart all the time and all of this. Like, I ran my husband through the mill because I did not have the foresight in the beginning of our relationship to really say, yo, this is an issue and I need to check some things, because my relationship with this individual is just a symptom, and he wasn't the only one. There are many. Are there many? There are a couple other people that could fall into this category as well, some less extreme than others. But this is a sign that you pick poorly. And I was embarrassed for myself when all of this stuff started to come to the woodwork. And luckily, I actually had the foresight and the knowledge to know that there had to be some work. I had to do some work on myself in order to be a better wife. And that has helped. I know I'm sitting here with my beer like, yeah, therapy. It's good. Tastes good. No, it's definitely something that you might want to consider looking into, and to give details of past relationships sparingly, because unless these situations are repeating themselves in your current relationship, and the only way, in my opinion, to identify if they are is to just check in with a therapist to see, if you're fighting once a week, like intense fighting about stuff, then, maybe it might be something that you want to look into. What amount of fighting is normal, and what isn't, and how much of it is based on your personal experiences and past failures that you allowed to happen in your life, and what are you doing about those things now that you have moved on. I am in therapy, and I meditate, and I read a lot, and I take care of my health, and I get advice from people who have done this successfully, and I make sure that I keep myself tuned into my husband's needs and check in with my kids and make sure that my husband and I have a peaceful space so we can be husband and wife without the kids around us all the time. Those are things that, some of those things are very recent. I could get into all of that, but this is a conversation like a dialogue conversation, but I just wanted to come here and tell people like how this actually ended. It ended very subtly and civilly. I mean, some people have the dramatic exit with all kinds of explosions and bombs and stuff, but I just told him to go screw himself, and he never came back around until it was absolutely too late. And I just kind of like gave different energy, like, yo, this is over. We did. Yeah, because I'm petty, okay? What do you want from me? So we did speak before I came to Germany, very briefly, because could you believe that bitch was still calling me? Like, I was married, and she was like, you know where my man is? I'm like, you don't know where your man is. You got a problem, because I always know where my man is, all right? And he's on the other side of the world. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to write you a letter and sign my name so that she has written proof that I'm not interested in you at all, ever. Fly pelican, you know. And he kind of like laughed and stuff, but I I wish that things were different so that I could have that face-to-face closure. But in reality, ladies, it's better to just have that closure moment ceremoniously by yourself, because any opportunity to reel you into a awkward situation or a situation where you're catching feelings just for the ego stroking of themselves is an opportunity for you to blow away everything else that you built to have the strength to continue on your life without this individual ruining it, and creating opportunity and spaces for something better to come along. He ain't studying you. He's not. He was really not studying you. Um, maybe when I get more subscribers and somebody shares this video, you're gonna be like, "That's not how that happened," you know. I can't wait. But I think that, oh man, man, when we get into the other situations, you're gonna know that your girl. This is why I have to practice honesty. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a terrible person. I'm not a terrible person. I've done some really terrible things. That's real talk. I'm no saint. And so when I say, yeah, I did that, and these were the results, then I can tell you what those results will lead to in your life. But he ain't studying you. And yeah, if you want different outcomes, you're going to have to play the game differently. So it's been real and it's been really good. What's good, girls, men, and everybody? Just make sure that you leave a like, subscribe, put your comments down below, and I will see y'all again next time. I gotta put on back my closing remarks. Tomorrow's the 19th, guys. Happy 19th. Get ready for us at home that day. I'm celebrating. I gotta put another beer outside. Shout out to the Punta Rebels, man. I cannot hear this music and not dance. I gotta be shaking my ass. And then you gotta make your face like... Look at this spice, what ya? Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us, and I will be seeing y'all again. See, 30 minutes. Unbelievable. Half an hour. It's time for my babies to go to bed, so I'm going to be signing off. You hear that? That is the sound of turtle shells. You're now going to find a turtle shell drum. all of them are like 20 years old because, we have conservation for turtles now, which is cool. But that's to tell you how old this song is. Love it. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. See y'all again next time.